When I first got here, we used to have a lot of turf that used to just peel up. There was no anchorage in parts of our greens. I had to be very careful with using blowers on where the greens met the surrounds. You could sometimes lift it up and peel the turf back. Over the 6.5 years, we're starting to learn how to manage it a little bit differently, and we're in a better position than we were when I first got here, but it's always still a challenge, yeah, absolutely, to force those roots down and get some anchorage on that bent grass.
Our recovery in our greens wasn't great as what it could be. Through a number of testings and so forth, we actually identified our nematode counts are up fairly high. These are push-up greens, majority of them, so we're using the natural sands in the area. So, yeah, having identified that, we obviously had to go through a number of different treatment programs in order to try and rectify the problem and improve the quality of the greens.
They were getting ivermectin, and we were finding that was giving us 1 to 2 weeks result. We'd get a healthy looking plant for 1 week or 2 at best, but then it was just going back to how it was. We've really got to find an answer, because without a good answer, we're not being able to produce the surfaces we desire and the membership desire.
We've got a downhill par 3, so obviously we get a lot of pressure from the balls lobbing onto the green, so that's sort of one of our issues. The other issue is basically the green sitting at the bottom of a valley. You can see all the big gum trees and everything that's surrounding the green, so it's a nice little microclimate. There's not a lot of airflow through this area. We've always had problems with this green, especially towards the later part of summer. We do experience high numbers of sting nematodes in all of our greens here at the club, but this one here, just because of all the other issues that are against us as well, it's quite hard to get it through the summer period. This green here, in a normal summer, it wouldn't get through a day without coming over and syringing some of the areas throughout the later part of the day. It's always the first go-to green when we get the hoses out. We come and check this green, and then we check it again later in the day.
Plant parasitic nematodes are a big problem in turf grass situations. The best way to diagnose that is to collect the sample and send it to the appropriate laboratory to get them to do an analysis on the types of nematodes, the number of nematodes, and also have a look at the root system. And we've got a green here behind us, and we'll do a zigzag pattern across the green, take enough cores to get about 300 grams of soil, which we're going to send to the laboratory. So here we've got our nematode sample ready to go to the laboratory. Send it as soon as you can, and then you can determine what your management strategy will be. Indemnify is a new nematicide from Bayer. It's a water-based formulation which is unscheduled and gives you a quick knockdown on nematodes plus long residual control, and will be very valuable for all turf grass managers with nematode issues. It contains the active ingredient fluropyram. Fluropyram belongs to a mode of action groups called SDHIs, or succinate dehydrogenase inhibitors. These stop energy production in the nematodes. So when we have a look at nematodes under the microscope, which have been treated with Indemnify, they appear straight, not mobile, needle-like, compared with normal active nematodes which move about, which are still feeding and often in a curled up position.
Indemnify is registered at 0.625 litres per hectare for the preventative control of nematodes. The applications are best made when we have good conditions for root growth, those being in spring and autumn. And for best results, a second application should be made 28 days after the first application.
Indemnify should be applied in 400 to 800 litres of water per hectare. Then after application, we need to apply irrigation to get it to the root zone. And depending on your situation, your soil type, the depth of your roots will vary the amount of irrigation that's required. Once in that root zone, Indemnify strongly binds to the organic matter and will continue to give long-term control. Indemnify is a formulation with a built-in wetter, so we do not recommend including a wetting agent when you apply the product.
We verti-drained before we put a lot of the other products out, whereas with the Indemnify we're just going straight out on the surface.
With regards to tank mixing, we've found no compatibility problems with Indemnify, but it depends on what you're mixing it with and where you want the two products placed. So the follow-up irrigation needs to be suitable for each, and it may be that separate applications might be best in your situation. Indemnify is an unscheduled product with low PPE requirements.
Some of the previous nematicides that we've used obviously have large re-entry periods. Large amount of golf here at the lakes, we can apply it basically straight before play. It really allows us to basically spray any day of the week, whereas previous programs we've had restricted on the days that we can spray, so ease of application is really beneficial.
That's always a huge benefit for our operators. Don't have to worry about the exposure to the chemicals. We do a lot of golf here. We do sort of 75,000 rounds of golf a year. It is important for us to be able to get out there and spray without affecting the golfs.